The following is a presentation of TFNN. Trade what you see with Larry Pesavento. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-873-7618. Now, Larry Pesavento.
Okay, looking good, Billy Ray. Feeling good, Lewis. Welcome to the offices of Duke & Duke, 100 South Broad Street, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And as our guest today, as advertised, is none other than Joe, Mr. Fibonacci himself, DiNapoli. Joe, how are you doing this morning, my friend?
Hey, Larry Velvet Voice. Great to hear you.
Oh, yeah, that's me. Me and Carson. Most of these folks don't realize, but I was a big factor on why he was so important. You know, I gave him most of his jokes. You knew that, but not many other people did. Hey,
Yeah,
why don't you tell us, since we have such a very quiet opening this morning, you want to start out? Hey, I got a bunch of questions for you, but let's save those till the end. How about that?
Yeah, you know, before I piss everybody off giving my political recommendations, what I actually wanted to do was finish up what I was talking about before, where, you know, Skynet has created this tremendous volatility and how you can take advantage of it. I've got a number of emails from listeners, and they didn't quite get what I was trying to explain to them. So I've got some charts, and I want to get to that first. But before I do that, there's just something that's bugging me, and I wanted to ask you, did you catch that Tony Bobulinski interview last night?
Well, I had the choice between that and Frazier, and I picked Frazier, so I missed it. I don't really follow that stuff anymore. Since, Kennedy was assassinated, I really haven't followed politics too much. But no, I did not. I'm sorry, Joe. But go ahead, give us your comments.
Well, yeah, I was it just was remarkable to me that the Bangkok Post paper that both of us are familiar with has less censorship than the news media outlets of the United States. It is just blowing my mind it's not really a political statement. It's a statement about, you know, what the citizens of this country want, whether they want tech oligarchs telling them what they can hear about and what they can't. So with that bit of commentary, I'm happy to get on to volatility in Skynet.
You've got the mic, my friend, so go right ahead.
Okay. Before I get into the details, you know, this isn't a recommendation to anybody. Since I've been so critical of certain powers in the United States that are in favor of these algorithmic trading structures that I think are destroying the market, I don't want to leave myself open. So this is no recommendation to anybody. This is what I'm doing on my own accounts and how I do it, and for informational purposes only. So last time I was talking about putting limit orders in the markets according to leading indicators that both of us use. You use Fibonacci, I use Fibonacci. And a lot of times in the overnight market, you're going to see my orders sitting there. I'm on the bid, I'm on the offer. And the question is, how do I get these numbers? And, how does this benefit me? Well, the way it benefits is pretty simple, because I've got numbers that are quite a distance from where the market closed. I've got buy points and I've got sell points. And I develop all these points based on a leading indicator technique. So let's go to chart 5. And chart 5 is a daily chart. Can you see these charts, Larry? I know.
Yes, sir. I'm posting them up. I think I have. Let's see. You want 5? That's the one right after 4, correct?
Yeah, that's you go 4, and then the number is 5. I think that's a Fibonacci number, so you should be familiar with it.
What is the chart of, Joe? Tell me.
It's daily Amazon.
Oh yeah, got it. Here we go. We're going to get it up here for you in just a second. There, we're ready to go. So Amazon is in the house. So go right ahead.
Okay. Well, you can. When I created this chart, you can see that the close was 3207.04. Well, we've got two numbers down here. One is at the COP, contracted objective point. Another one is at the XOP, and there's actually a third number, which is 31.24. So you've got several numbers here, and what I do is, depending upon the volatility and what else is going on in the market, I'll pick one of these numbers. In this case, I picked 3075, and I put a number in overnight, and I let it sit there. Now, typically, I will trade half of a position. So whatever my full allotment is, whether it's 100,000 or 50,000 or 200,000, I'll cut that in half. I'll put a bid in right there at the market, and that's what you're going to see in the overnight markets. And that order just sits there. And I got a question for you, Larry. If that order doesn't get filled, does it cost me anything?
No.
Exactly. That's the whole point. I'm using leading indicators to get myself a great fill, and those fills come from the excess volatility created from Skynet. So if that's clear, let's go to number 4. That's the one before number 5, and that's a weekly chart of Tesla.
Tesla. I don't see that one, Joe.
Number 4, TSLA.jpg. Sent that to you, I think it was last night or the night before.
Yep, I got it. Hang on here just a second. They've got him in the den now, so I don't have to do anything. You just go ahead and talk, and they're taking care of everything. They realize that I'm a little technically deficient, so go right ahead, Joe. Fire away. You've got Tesla on the line.
Yeah, we'll forgive you, Larry. It's a little early for me, so I'm behind the 8 ball too. But anyway, in this case, you're going to see two numbers that arrows are pointing to. One is expanded objective point, which is at 546.91. This would be your sell number, and you've got a contracted objective point at 359.23. Now, typically, what I'm going to do is I'm simply going to put orders in just before both of those numbers. A buy order on the 359 and a sell order on the 346. Now, what your viewers need to understand is that these are leading indicators. And so I developed a sell number way back in August, and I developed the buy number on approximately October 12th. So these orders can be sitting in the market as much as weeks or months, actually, before they're ever hit. Now, there's no guarantee they're going to be hit, but people are looking at this saying, well, what are you talking about? We're at 420. And you're buying at 360? I mean, are you out of your mind? The answer is no. The excess volatility created from this terrible computerized trading algorithm situation we find ourselves in can cause these spikes. And often what happens, Larry, is that I'll get a fill, and by the time I realize I've gotten the fill, I'm in a profit. And of course, that doesn't happen every time, and you can get hurt in any strategy. But this has been extremely rewarding for me. And you get a volatile situation like Tesla, and it's just amazing how these numbers work. So if you're good there, let's go on to one more.
Joe, we have to pay a few bills from Mr. O'Brien right now. It's going to be back in about 3 minutes. Can you stay with us because you're scheduled for the whole hour?
Okay, of course.
Okay, we'll be right back, folks.
If you're not currently using the TAS Profile Scanner when looking at setting up your trading opportunities, then your arsenal is short a mighty weapon. The TAS Profile Scanner is a standalone piece of software that instantly filters over 2,500 global financial markets such as stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, and Forex. Headed by Steve Dahl, TAS understands that in today's technological world, the use of top-flight software applications and technical analysis expertise is essential to successful trading in today's market. You also gain access to the webinar that Steve Dahl and Tom O'Brien just hosted, The Best Way to Use the TAS Profile Scanner to Profit. This webinar archive is available for all subscribers immediately upon signing up. All new subscriptions also come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. Start your subscription by visiting the front page of TFNN.com today, and you'll find the TAS Profile Scanner under the Services tab. Sign up today. Are you in the market for buying or selling real estate in the Bay Area, including the surrounding St. Petersburg, Tampa, and Clearwater markets? Tiger Real Estate LLC is a firm that has extensive experience in the Tampa Bay area. Whether you're looking to sell your current property for maximum value, or you're in the market for a second home or investment property, Tiger Realty has the experience across all areas of real estate in the Tampa Bay area to help buyers and sellers make the most informed decisions across all price levels. From the price you should be paying per square foot in certain up-and-coming areas to the type of cash flow investment properties are capable of creating, Tiger Real Estate can help you make the best decision when it comes to all areas of the market. Before you make one of the biggest decisions of your financial future, call Tiger Real Estate LLC today at 727-329-8322 or email us at tiger@tfnn.com. That's 727-329-8322. Call us today.
Many of our new listeners have heard about The Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive The Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on The Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
TFNN has launched our brand new website. You can still visit us at the same TFNN.com URL, but when you do, you'll see a new and improved homepage with a much simpler navigation, whether you're watching Tiger TV live in high definition or just accessing your newsletter subscriptions. We even have new pricing in 6 months and yearly options. Check out the new TFNN.com now and experience all the upgrades. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
Okay, we're back, folks. We're talking with Joe DiNapoli. Joe, you want to continue, please?
Yes. The next chart is number 3. It's SMH Daily. And SMH is an ETF of chip stocks, and it has been one. It's like FedEx or some of the other ones that have just been absolute screamers. And I really wanted a position in this one, so I finally got a position, and I got it exactly the way that I've been talking about in this program. So if you look at the chart, you're going to be see an XOP support area at 178.49, and that is approximately where I was filled. And this number, this buy number, this support number was generated back, I believe, October 17th or 18th. I put the order in the market, and I was in Monday's break that I got a fill. Now, within half an hour of being filled, I'm in profits. And I had a couple of 2, 3, 4 point lead here in the thing almost right away. And this is the way this thing works. And this is the way you can take advantage of volatility in these markets. Now, if you are with the trend, you would typically, I should rephrase that, I would typically stay with the position longer than if you're against the trend. But even if you're against the trend, like say on the Tesla example that I cited before, we go up to that 500 number and you get a sale. Even if you're against the trend's going up, this thing ought to react. It ought to react pretty violently from that number. So the amount of time you stay in this thing is determined by 2 factors. One is the sell numbers that you generate. That's the first thing. And secondarily, whether or not you are with or against the trend. So that being said, that should answer the questions that people had about how to take advantage of the market volatility. And with your approval, I'm going to go on to something else, which I think is very important for the listeners, and that's value versus growth.
This is what you're here for, my friend, so please continue.
Okay, value versus growth. What are we talking about? We're talking about the FANGs, the Zooms, the censoring tech companies that I mentioned earlier, the Facebooks and Twitters, versus banks, industrials, materials, and even the airlines. Okay, so in one case you got growth, the other case you got value, and there's been this incredible discussion. You can hear it on CNBC. You can hear it all over the place. Is value finally overtaking growth? And my opinion is that when value does overtake growth, you're going to see banks, materials, stocks like that. You're going to rise 50%. And they're going to do it fast. You're going to see airlines double. All this stuff is so it's very important to try to know when your high tech companies are going to get hit, and or at least not go up, and when growth is going to take over. And that being said, let's go to chart number 1, which is the weekly Nasdaq divided by the weekly E-mini futures. So what we've got here, in fact, is a ratio. I often refer to it as a spread, but the truth is it's a ratio. And we can see from the chart that the Nasdaq had gaining on the S&P from approximately December of this year all the way up until roughly June to July. And then after that period, we had a flattening of that spread. Now, what this is telling us is that we don't have to guess. We don't have to say, gee, is value now going to go beyond growth? There's no guessing. You taught me something years ago, Larry, and I'm going to mention it here. Everybody listening should take heed. And I'll see if you remember this, Larry. You remember telling me they can lie, they can cheat, they can steal, but they cannot hide. You remember saying that to me?
I say it all the time, Joe. Yeah, I do remember. You had a blue shirt on that day. We were in the offices of Conti Commodity. It was a Wednesday around 10:30 in the morning, 1972. Yep, I sure do. I have a hard time remembering today is Wednesday.
Larry, that was instrumental. I mean, it may sound like a simple statement, but you know the old saying about when the student's ready, the girl will appear. Well, it may not mean anything to your listeners, but it meant a hell of a lot to me. And what it basically is saying is that tape reading is important. So that, no matter what you hear in the news, no matter how they lie, cheat, steal, no matter how much inside information these people get, no matter how much manipulation, in the end, they can't hide. It's impossible. They can't hide. And what this chart is showing you is that growth is at least on a par with value, and consolidation series will precede a break. So in this case, I am invested now in growth, and I like the banks, I like the airlines. I think the airlines are all going to double, and we're going to have, I think, a great buying opportunity in the airlines. I'll get onto that when we talk more about the election. So if that's understood, if you don't have any questions, Larry, I've got one more chart on this value versus growth thing, which I think is just incredible, and I think it's going to be a huge benefit to your listeners.
Okay, keep going. We're here.
All right. The next chart is chart number 2, and this is the daily TNA divided by TECL. All right, now TNA is the Russell small cap. TECL is your tech, high tech stocks. So these are triple ETFs. Now, I want to give a prohibition here to everyone out there. There is nobody, and I know I'm going to include myself in this. Nobody should be trading these things. These things are vicious, and they got some of the best professionals in the business trading these things. So nobody should be trading these triple ETFs. They are scorchers. They are you just don't want to be trading them. However, they are a reflection, right? They can lie, they can steal, but they can't hide. And they're this ratio is a reflection of what the cream of the crop in our trading industry is doing. Now, if you look at this chart's upside down because we've got growth represented by TNA divided by tech, and you can see that growth has been losing, but now we've got this consolidation period, And I like looking at both this chart and the previous chart in order to confirm one another. And they are confirming one another. And what they're saying is that value is finally going to overtake growth. And I think what this is telling us is that the pandemic is ending. It's essentially over, and we're going to see a huge resurgence in growth. At least that's what the chart's telling me right now. And with the provision that the election is going to cause some issues, which we can get into next. Just the way we want.
Okay, we got to pay a few bills again. We'll be right back in about 4 minutes, Joe. So stay with us. Joe DiNapoli, folks, is our guest. We'll be right back.
Larry Pesavento watches the markets 24/7, and now is a great time to try out his daily trading service, Fibonacci 24/7. Larry publishes videos and charts for subscribers throughout the week when warranted, and every weekend he puts out a thorough report covering worldwide markets, futures, commodities, and currencies with Fibonacci retracement levels, possible trading setups and zones, and stops and targets for all recommendations included. Larry applies the principles he's developed over decades of trading while analyzing a variety of markets for subscribers. To see for yourself the types of videos, charts, and analysis that Larry provides for his subscribers, sign up for Fibonacci 24/7 today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under the newsletter tab. You'll also gain instant access to Larry's archived subscriber webinar from earlier this year. New subscribers get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. Sign up today. If you're a trader in the market looking to find the path that leads to maximizing profits while decreasing risk, then now is a great time to try out Dave White's daily trading service, The Path of Least Resistance. Through the use of options and equity trades, Dave advises his subscribers on a daily basis of the current market conditions and what possible trade setups are on the horizon. The Path of Least Resistance is published every trading morning, often with updates intraday when initiating trades or closing out positions. Dave White has advised his clients of some outstanding winning options and equity trades in recent months, and now is a great time to try it out for yourself. New subscribers to the Path of Least Resistance receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the types of options and equity trades that are available by signing up for the Path of Least Resistance today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com and selecting the newsletter tab. Sign up today. TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartleys, ABCs, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Okay, we're back, folks, talking with Joe DiNapoli down in sunny Florida. Joe, you want to continue, please?
Yeah, now it's time to talk about the election. I got a number of emails. People wanted to find out what I was thinking, what I was doing. And it's a minefield. I don't want to piss people off, but there's no avoiding it. I mean, I say one thing, it's going to irritate half the people out there. So in the way of a disclaimer, I just want to walk down history a little bit here, talk about myself. 12 years old, I was stuffing envelopes on Tremont Street in Boston with my father, with the then Democratic gubernatorial candidate Foster Furcolo. who was subsequently elected. I lived out in California in 1968. I was a great supporter of Ronald Reagan, went to his rallies, et cetera, so on. In the 90s, I supported Bill Clinton. I still think he was one of our really good presidents. The vote I most regret in my lifetime was George W. Bush. I think he tied with Lyndon Johnson as the two worst presidents of my lifetime. So all I'm trying to say here is I call them like I see them. I mean, you know me, Larry. I just call them like I see them. I don't care about political affiliation. I care about policy. So here's what I'm seeing right now, and I'm going to give you my there's 5 or 6 reasonable outcomes here for this election, but I'm going to give you my base case because this is the one I think has the highest probability, and it looks to me like Trump's going to win. Now, if you want later on, if we have the time, we can go into the reasons I believe this, but the base case is Trump wins, and chaos is going to ensue. We are then going to have the Insurrection Act implemented. The rioting and burning and all that stuff is going to be put down. During this, the market's going to drop hard, and it's going to be a tremendous buying opportunity, and subsequently we'll go to new highs. So that's my base case, and I have been in RCM mode, raise cash mode, for the past month and a half. I'm in the highest cash position that I have been in since February of this year. And I'm going to do exactly what I showed you in the first segment, where I'm going to have buy points in stocks that I love. And some of those would be FedEx, they'd be S&H I just showed you. I like GM, and there's a whole bunch of other ones that I think the airlines are going to turn around, and like I said before, they're going to at least double. I love JetBlue, in the low 11s. I love it. I love it. So anyway, that's my base case. So let's get into a situation. However, we don't know the future. I don't know the future. That's why it's so hard to predict. That's why they call it the future. And let's talk about what if Biden wins. I said before, if Biden wins, I love China. I mean, I want to be all over China. If Biden wins within the first 6 months or maybe a year, there's going to be this massive breakthrough. It's going to be touted by the news media as being a wonderful new relationship with China. It's going to be touted that it will benefit the United States, will benefit China. In fact, it's going to benefit China. It's not going to be good for the United States at all. But that's not the point. That's not the ways the news media will portray it. And you're going to see a stock like ASHR go from where it is now, 35 to probably 55 or 60. There'll be new highs in the Shanghai index. So that'll be great. If Biden wins, it'll be absolutely great for China. It's not going to be great for the U.S. I don't think there's any way it's going to be great for the U.S. However, there's going to be so much money printing that we may not crash right away. I think we're going to see 20% off U.S. equities if Biden gets elected, but it just might not happen for a while. And interesting thing is that if you want to play foreign stuff, you can get involved in India, because on a Trump win, China's going to suffer, but India is going to benefit like mad. IIF, okay, that's the ETF. You can trade it on the New York Stock Exchange, and I think it's going to be really good on a Trump win. And if Biden wins, it's not going to be bad. So it's an asymmetric trade. And I love asymmetric trades. And by the way, I've got another asymmetric trade for you. And again, an asymmetric trade is a trade where you win a little bit if you're wrong, or you lose a little bit if you're wrong, but you win big if you're right. And that trade would be muni bonds. If Biden gets in, you're going to see all kinds of, I don't know, there'll be trillions, but there'll be high, huge billions of dollars going to states. And, that's going to benefit the high yield muni bond market. If Biden doesn't get in and Trump gets in, there's going to be transfer payments going to the states, but they're not going to be as big. And so either way, it looks like either you win a lot or you stay even or win a little bit. I've already got a position in muni bonds, and that's a position that you can take, or I should rephrase that now. It's a position I have, and I will probably increase prior to the election. So, we got time for me to go on and talk about why I believe the economy and the market is in trouble, Larry, before break?
Go right ahead. We've got a break coming up here in 2 minutes, so go right ahead, Joe.
Okay, I got plenty of time. All right, so why do I think our economy, the U.S. economy, and the U.S. stock market will essentially crash or will have a very substantial pullback over time on a Biden win? Okay, capital gains tax is very likely to go up. Repeal of the Trump tax cuts. Now, that isn't going to be good at all. Corporate tax is going up. Corporate tax is going up should be called the Unemployment Act of 2021. Because, I mean, that's what's going to happen. I live overseas. I see these corporations come in overseas to areas that have low tax rates. And if we don't have a competitive tax rate, our companies are going to leave. They're going to hire foreign workers. It's just that simple. You know, it's not hard to figure out, and that's what's going to happen. Massive increase on taxes for the well-off. Well, the well-off don't have the money. They have money they can invest. If they don't have as much of the money to invest, and God help us, the government has it to spend on these stupid programs, well, you know, it's not going to be good for the economy. The big thing is a move towards socialism. Now, if we have more time when I get done with these election predictions, Larry, I want to talk a little bit about socialism because I've lived in countries, I've worked in countries, I've stayed in countries, I've visited countries that have socialism. And, you know, people just don't know. The Americans are so insular. They don't know what happens when you have socialism. And we can talk about that later if we have the time. All right, so let's go to an increase in regulations. You know, regulations are necessary, but onerous regulations are a bad deal. Enormous transfer payments to the states. I mean, you know, what are we going to do? Just print ourselves to prosperity? And this is absurd. Sooner or later, we're going to have inflation. We risk currency status with the U.S. dollar. If we ever lose that, that's the end of the U.S. It's the end of, and the poor will be killed.
Hey, we've got to pay a few bills now, so stay with us, okay?
All right, buddy.
We'll be right back.
Hi folks, this is Tom O'Brien. The printing presses are working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The U.S. deficit has risen 200% in 1 year with no end in sight. The markets are looking for an additional stimulus bill to get us through this once-in-a-generation pandemic. There is no free lunch, folks. The more stimulus dollars put into the marketplace, the less your dollar is worth each and every day. This is the time to protect yourself with a portion of your portfolio in the metal market. The Gold Report comes out each Monday morning. I bisect and dissect the dollar, silver, gold, the XAU, and the HUI. The Gold Report is a long-term hedge against the dilution of your buying power. The U.S. has put more than $6 trillion into the marketplace in the last 6 months, with more expected in the next few months. The market did and does need the stimulus, but it will have long-term implications on our buying power. The Gold Report comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Go to TFNN.com and order the Gold Report now. Protect your buying power. Order the Gold Report now.
Will the S&P 500 continue to climb? For bold trades on U.S. large-cap stocks in either direction, trade SPXL, SPUU, or SPXS. Direxion's daily S&P 500 bull and bear leveraged ETFs. Direxion leveraged ETFs. An investor should carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risks, charges, and expenses before investing. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direxion shares. To obtain a fund's prospectus and summary prospectus, call 866-476-7523 or visit DirexionInvestments.com. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foresight Fund Services, LLC.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
TFNN has launched our brand new website. You can still visit us at the same TFNN.com URL, but when you do, you'll see a new and improved homepage with a much simpler navigation, whether you're watching Tiger TV live in high definition or just accessing your newsletter subscriptions. We even have new pricing in 6 months and yearly options. Check out the new TFNN.com now and experience all the upgrades. TFNN.com, educating investors.
The Bull Bear Trading Hour with Tom and Tommy O'Brien. Next.
Okay, we're back, folks. We're talking with Joe DiNapoli. And Joe, someone asked the question, when was the last time you and I got together? It was 2006 at your place in Bangkok. We went to dinner at that really cool Italian restaurant, Oprah.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's right. I remember. That's how long it's been, buddy. 14 years ago. Go ahead and continue. We got another segment here of about 15 minutes, so you've got the mic.
That's terrific, Larry. I was just listening to Tommy's advertisement on gold. I know we're all on the same page. You guys trade a lot more gold than I do, but we're on the same page here with all these giveaway programs. And that was I don't see any way gold can't get up. I eliminated half my position because it just wasn't acting right. But in the next couple of days, I have to put it back on because I do see the chaos happening, and I think that's going to benefit gold. Maybe not right away, but it will benefit gold. I got to have that position back. So the next thing is this big giveaways that are going to happen to illegal aliens. I mean, it's like we can just print forever, just print forever, and then we're talking about the Green New Deal. Well, that's got to be great for the economy, right? I mean, geez, even a partial implementation of this is just, I don't know how people can even think about this. Okay, re-entry of the Paris Climate Agreement. Read it, study it. It's totally stacked against us. It's a transfer payment to basically to China and Russia. Cutbacks in the oil industry. Well, that's just what we need. We finally get oil independence, and now we're going to cut that. Defense stocks, they might do really good if we have to re-enter the Middle East because we're no longer energy independent. And this idea, this naive idea that coal miners are going to learn how to code. I worked on the Alaskan pipeline in the mid-'70s, and I worked with some of the most amazing construction people on Earth. But I'll tell you, these guys aren't going to learn coding. Is a snowflake millennial coder going to learn coal mining? Let's turn it around. He's going to operate an excavator? Can you imagine a coder in an open pit mining operation with explosives? No, of course not. Well, guess what? Coal miners aren't going to learn to code. It ain't going to happen. Then, now we're talking about a move towards socialized medicine. All right, now, that's going to be incredibly expensive. We just print forever, doesn't cost anything, just print. All right, well, this is where I'm going to go off the economic beat just a little bit. Talk about Medicare, because it's just that important. All right, I'm a Medicare beneficiary, Larry, you are also, and it gets personal. If we move toward Medicare for everybody, then Medicare isn't going to be Medicare anymore. It's just that simple. You're going to have one type of health insurance for the masses, and you're going to have private hospitals for the rest of us. You, me, Tommy, we're going to be able to afford the private hospitals. Private hospitals exist where the country goes to all public health care. And you can see it in South Africa, you see it in Thailand, you see it in India, you see it all over these countries. Now, Thailand, Larry, you've been there, it has great medical facilities. But it has great medical facilities for those that can pay. If you don't pay, you get, you get the public health system, some of which is good, some of which is really bad. Like, I mean, you should see some of these cesarean operations on these young girls that go to the public health care facilities. We're pretty near Halloween. You know, it looks like Jason got a hold of them, opened them up like a gutted mackerel. I mean, this is, if you try to implement Medicare for all, you're going to end up with private hospitals and public, and that's just what's going to happen, because it's what happens everywhere. Okay, another comment here about what happens if a Biden win. There's going to be a large benefit for certain companies that employ cheap labor because of the inclusion of millions of illegal aliens in the labor force. It's going to absolutely decimate low-end wages, and it'll be very good for large corporations, and also be good for restaurants. You know, anybody that uses cheap labor. I have a little business out there in California. When I go out there, I usually hire a couple of Mexican boys, and all the way up to December of 2018, I was able to get Mexican labor, unskilled Mexican labor, between $80 and $100 a day. So I go out to California in December of 2018, and I call my buddy Flavio, and I say, look, I need a couple of Mexican boys here for a couple of days, and can you send them over? He says, yeah, it's going to be $400 a day. I said, wait a minute, I just need two, I don't need four. He says, yeah. He says, now he's got to pay his people, Mexican labor, unskilled, he's got to pay them $200 a day for 1 day's work, okay, unskilled. So I said, hey, the hell with that, you know, and I went and I hired a white guy who had his own tools. All that's going to change. You legalize, you know, what is it, 11, 12 million illegal immigrants, and, you know, wages are going to crack. And if anybody is naive enough to think that a minimum wage of a certain amount is going to, you know, stop wages from breaking, well, they just haven't thought it through. And we don't have enough time for you to go through all the steps. But maybe going to help.
Hey, Joe, I've been interrupted here by someone in the den has really requested that we've only got about 6 minutes left, and they've got these questions coming one right after another. So could we get into those? Because we're going to have you on again, Joe. So don't worry about that. Let's unless Biden gets in, then they're probably going to close everything. I'm just better shut up, Larry. Shut up, Larry. What has anything changed since you first wrote your book, Joe?
Okay. You know, I was right to finish. That was on my last sentence. So
Okay, go ahead.
Let me do the last sentence. Trump win, continuation, assuming that, you know, we get past the rioting, and I think we will, continuation of the bull market and a strong economy. This COVID thing's ending. So I'm done, Larry. Your timing, as always, is perfect. And the question is,
yeah.
The question was, what's changed since I wrote the book? Is that the question?
Yes.
Okay.
Then there's a follow-up question to that. Do you still use your displaced moving averages and double repo patterns?
Okay. The first things first. The Fibonacci work has gotten even better because you now, instead of leading indicators being really great, they are absolutely necessary. And there is one change that I've noticed, and we can get into the details if we have the time. But Larry, if let's say you've got to move down and you have resistance at a 0.38 node on the way back up, and you break that resistance, you go through it. Now you're heading up to the 50% level. The 0.382 will be support on any move back down. We call that revisiting nodes. And this is one change. This didn't happen prior to the computers taken over in March of 2008. And revisited nodes are a very important concept. The displaced moving averages I still use, and they are the basis for several important patterns.
Okay, we'll be back, Joe. We've got another 3 minutes coming, so stay with us, buddy.
All right.
Back in the day, I joined Hotel California in 2006, and like many of you, was drawn in by, as well as...
Whatever you think about, you bring about. Whatever you focus on grows.
You see, I believe that everything in life happens for us, not to us. And Tom ignited the fire within me to want to learn how to master the markets. So how did I go from knowing nothing about technical analysis to becoming the #1 market timer for the S&P 500 in 2018 and the #2 market timer in 2019? Simply put, I hired coaches with a proven track record, which led me to a whole new set of tools that I created to interpret the message of buyers and sellers. I would love the opportunity to teach you this award-winning set of tools and to help you improve your market timing. You can test drive my newsletter service, Mastering Probabilities, for the next 30 days with no risk to you. Plus, you'll gain access to archive workshops that'll take you step by step through my system. Sign up today by going to the homepage of tfnn.com and selecting Mastering Probability in the newsletter tab.
If you haven't checked out the newsletters page of TFNN.com, what are you waiting for? All of the TFNN newsletters are informative, up-to-date, affordable, and a must-have for every trader looking to gain a competitive informational edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets to offer you the very latest in market news. Plus, new subscribers get to test drive our newsletters risk-free for 30 days. From all aspects of the markets, including stocks, bonds, metals, commodities, and tech, there's a newsletter to fit your needs exclusively from TFNN. Stay informed each day you trade and get that competitive edge that will help you stay ahead of the game. Visit our newsletters page by going to TFNN.com and click the newsletters button near the top of the page. TFNN.com, educating investors.
With markets trading with extreme volatility and peaks and troughs everywhere, regardless of what you're looking at in the markets, this is a great time to see the type of analysis Basil Chapman delivers for his subscribers every market day with the Opening Call newsletter. Basil has been analyzing markets, providing his take for subscribers to his trading services since 1984. Every morning, Basil publishes an update for his subscribers, along with weekend and evening updates when warranted. The Opening Call provides traders a daily market overview with regard to the direction of the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, along with specific recommendations, including stops and targets. You also gain instant access to Basil's subscriber webinar archive from earlier this year, a dark cloud cover, and essential market analysis. Ride the Chapman wave today by signing up for the Opening Call newsletter on the front page of TFNN.com under the newsletter tab. New subscribers get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. Sign up today.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Okay, we're back, folks. We're finishing up now with our good friend, Joe DiNapoli. Joe, do you want to continue, please? Or would you like to tell the folks how they could reach you? Or how would you like to do the last section here?
I just want to talk first about the 25 by 5 on the NASDAQ. And from November of...
you want to tell the folks what the 25 by 5 is, Joe, because they won't know.
25 simple moving average of the close displays forward 5 days. Now, I'm making some assumptions here that people have studied the book. There's no way I can teach the method on the radio or the TV. I mean, you gotta study the book. But this displaced moving average, 25 days, simple moving average of the close, displaced forward 5 days, has contained the NASDAQ absolutely incredibly. Larry, I'm going to send you a chart. You can add it to the other ones. It will blow your mind. And Jay Cross will be rolling over in his grave if he could see this chart. I mean, it is absolutely incredible how this thing has contained the trend. Yeah, if people want to get a hold of me, they can go to easiest way is to go to FibTrader, FibTrader.com, and that'll forward you to my website. And if you want to talk to me personally, there's a link to contact. My email's there, and it'll come right to me. And the first step for anybody is to get this book. It's been published in 10 languages now, 2 more languages coming out this year, and it's really a good book. And it's just the starting point. So, Larry, you got another question for me?
Yes, sir. The question is there anything other than in the confluence levels that you look at other than what you originally published?
Yes, as I mentioned before, this concept of revisited nodes, it goes back to the Stottlemyre theory, his development of market consolidation areas and where the volume is trading. When you go up to a confluence area or a fib node or an expansion area, there's trading there. That shows up in Stottlemyre's work. And the computers have been programmed.
Okay, Joe.
Yeah.
The clock on the wall is run up, buddy. We're going to have you on next month, so get your calendar ready.
All right. Great talking to you.
You bet. Joe DiNapoli, folks. We'll be right back tomorrow, 877-927-6648.